We had a pretty exciting weekend of racing, as you're about to see, and it all started with our goal of running a 10-second quarter-mile pass with the UglyTruck while it was still on its stock engine. See, UglyTruck's powered by a 100% untouched junkyard 8.1, and of course it does have a big old turbo on the side. And before what you're about to see, the fastest we had ever gone was an 11:06.7 at like 121 miles an hour. But I wanted a 10, and I was bound and determined to make that happen. But before we could even make it down to Vegas this weekend to go racing, well, there's a couple obstacles that we had to take care of back here in the shop. All right, guys, today we are headed down to Las Vegas. We're gonna haul the UglyTruck down there, but it just snowed up here in Utah. I have the Nitto 420s on the AT4 tow rig right now, and the other day in the ice and snow, they did not do all that great. So we have our stock wheels and tires right here. These are they're Goodyear, something. They do have the little 3 peaky snowflake symbol on there that everyone says you want to have in this narrower tire. So we're gonna swap these out real quick. We're gonna change the fuel filter on the truck, just kind of maintenance stuff before our trip. It's, I don't know, it's like 500 miles down there maybe. And then we'll load the truck up and hit the road and get that 10. I will admit, it's gonna be sad to see these go, because I like how they look so much, but it's just for the winter time, because I would rather not crash. So I want to see if this works. I bought this off Amazon for like 25, 30 bucks. It's one of these tire pressure relearn thingies, because it's got, you know, sensors in all the wheels. So curious to see if it works, but I don't have a battery, so I've got to steal one out of my multimeter. All right, Amazon. Let's see what you got. Aha! Success! So last thing on the AT4, just gonna throw a fuel filter in real quick because it's been, I don't know, 10,000 miles or so. And then we load up. With the maintenance taken care of on the tow rig, it was time to load up and hit the road. But one of those last minute gremlins or safety issues kind of popped up that we had to take care of, because I didn't really want the wheels falling off as we were headed down the track. All right, guys, as you can see, we are not loaded up on the trailer right now. I was backing the UglyTruck out of its spot, and I noticed an awful popping noise, and we kind of investigated. The tire was almost like shifting back and forth, and I don't know if you'll be able to hear that or not, but this whole wheel is moving back and forth, side to side. The wheel bearings are shot, which I put these brand new wheel bearings in the truck. It was like 2 years ago, but it's had like 3,000 miles or less on it. But anyway, I do have the right parts to fix it, sort of. The problem is, that's a 2-wheel drive front wheel bearing. We're converting this truck to 4-wheel drive. I don't want to go out and buy new 2-wheel drive wheel bearings that I can't use. So I'm just gonna put the 4-wheel drive ones on, but these do require this nut right here in this CV end to kind of hold the bearing together. So basically what I'm going to do is take the CV axle apart. I happen to have 2 extra sets from the trucks I've parted out over the years. And I'm just going to bolt this stub axle through the 4-wheel drive bearing. And then of course, when we do have this 4-wheel drive conversion done, we'll already have the 4-wheel drive hubs in there. So yeah, a little bit of a wrench in the works, but we have the tools to fix it, and we'll be back on the road before you know it. Well, the dust cover fell off on this a while ago, and I'm ashamed to admit I knew about that. So this bearing is just probably got dust and dirt in there and is wore out. So let's fix her up. These hubs actually came from the four-wheel drive frame that is going to go underneath this truck, so it's kind of like full circle. I definitely would not be hired as a CV axle rebuilder, I'll tell you that. Alright, so I cheated a little bit. I got the cutoff wheel off and I just sliced the axle because I wasn't able to get the, there's a little clip in there apparently that I wasn't able to get. So I just sacrificed the axle. This is an old junkyard one, so not too terribly hurt over that, but here's the trick to getting these apart. Just kind of get all the little balls out, and then once you get them, eventually, you can take the inner race out. All right, after a whole bunch of messing around, we have a four-wheel drive bearing on a two-wheel drive truck, and we also have the cup of the CV axle to kind of hold it all together. So our timetable has kind of gone out the window. It's now 4 o'clock, but hey, this is racing, right? Or attempt to race. Guys, we made it down to Las Vegas. We are definitely a little bit out of place today because we are at an event called Import Face-Off. As you can see, there's going to be a lot of imported cars, but they do have an open test and tune, and that's where we're going to run the Ugly Truck. We're trying to get a 10. I am pretty dang sure that we can make it happen. I mean, technically I'd be happy with a 10.999, but I want to go faster. So we're going to push this thing and see what happens. did it, guys. 10.92 at 125. Simple as that.
We got 10s!
We got
10s! First pass!
I don't know what else to do.
Oh! Kill it! Kill it!
Thank you. Now, I was really pumped to run a 10-second pass right off the trailer. It was like mission accomplished, and I figured, well, we could just load up and go home. But it actually wasn't the best run because I foot braked it, just trying to get a feel for the new converter, and that led to a 1.74 60 foot, where the UglyTruck's been as quick as a 1.6 in the 60 foot. So I knew if I launched it a little bit better, we could get that 10.9, probably down by another tenth or so. Another thing you might have noticed if you listen to the audio at the top of the track, it kind of sounds like it's hitting a rev limiter. Now, these 8.1s are only designed from the factory to spin like not even 5,000 RPM, but with a little reassurance from good buddy Pat, we decided to raise the limiter, engage the two-step, and hit it harder than we ever have before. Spun bad off the launch on that one. Did not get a good hit. 11.4. Still a good mile an hour though, 125, but dang it. So unfortunately, as you probably just noticed, the UglyTruck spun really badly off the launch, which led to like a 2-second plus 60 foot and an 11.4 at like 125. So still the same mile an hour because we get up to speed probably 300 feet before the end of the track, then we're just kind of sitting on the limiter, which by the way is, I don't believe actually the rev limiter, because everything, when I went back into the tune after the fact, I realized it was already like 6,000. I think we're just experiencing valve float because we're putting a bunch of boost on the back side of the valve that kind of could push it open potentially. And then of course we're spinning the 8.1 much, much faster than it was ever designed to go. And then so I tried to get back in line to do a third pass to try to get a better launch, back into the 1.6 60 foot where the UglyTruck has been before. But unfortunately they closed the lanes for test and tune. They were into eliminations for the import face-off classes. So that's all I got was 2 shots, which means this is where the story of the stock 8.1 actually comes to an end. It's still in one piece, but over the winter, that guy back there, the 535 big block, is going in place of the junkyard 8.1. We're also doing a 4-wheel drive conversion. We have a different frame. We've got to completely redo all of our safety stuff. We need a roll cage. We need 5-point harnesses, better, probably like a racing seat. Basically, we're completely redoing the UglyTruck, so the 8.1 is coming out and it's going into storage. Who knows? Maybe someday we'll figure out something to do with it, but I've got more projects than I have time for as it is. We've got a 5.4 quad cam we're building for a New Edge Mustang. We've got the UglyTruck over the winter, which is like my main push because I want to have that done for April. But who knows? Maybe someday the 8.1 will stick it in something and we'll make it even faster and lighter as well. Thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate you, honestly. You guys brought us to 100,000 subs this year. That's a huge milestone. If you want to see more about that 8.8 liter 535, 1700 horsepower big block build, check out another video. And also, if you want to kind of get caught up on the four-wheel drive conversion, I've got another video you can check out as well. So thank you. Come back soon.